Hello, very good evening to you, and welcome to this special locker room at the Euros. Then, as my T-shirt says, I don't know if you can see that. We're going to Germany. I don't know why I bought that T-shirt because I'm not even going to Germany. Big day. We're here until 6 o'clock. Anyway, Ian Emerson's got a wee wry smile on his face because he's the only person that's going on the show.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll get out for the final, Ian. It's fine.
I'll have spent all my money by then, so you can go to the final, yeah.
So good evening, welcome to the locker room at the Euros. We'll be here every night during the Euros campaign, and this is a preview show by myself, Michael McShune, Graham Duffy, Ian Emerson, and Regan Stevenson as well. Good evening, guys.
All right, mate.
How's it going?
All right, mate. Yeah, that's if anybody's watching that from Germany, all right, mate. It's hello in Scottish as well. Get your comments coming in. We're here until 6 o'clock. We're on Facebook and Twitter, formerly known well, it used to be Twitter, now it's called X, but I can't say that in my house because my partner might get a bit annoyed again. I've just got a joke too many times this year as well. We'll be speaking about the Euros, and also Mr. Graham Duffy did an interview with match commentator Rory Hamilton. He'll be at the Euros as well. Watch out for him. That'll be coming up at 5:25 as well. Exactly. There we go. I get your comments coming in. Who do you think the Scotland will start in the first game? And all the Euro nonsense banter and all that. We're here until 6 o'clock. Ian, I'll turn to you first. You must be very excited because you're actually going to the Euros. When are you heading off?
Wednesday. Yeah. So yeah, I'm getting excited, and as I was saying just earlier, that when you're seeing people already heading off just now today, driving and things like that, and getting a train, yeah, it's getting real, isn't it? So I've got another couple of days to wait, a couple of sleepless nights ahead, and then heading out. So yeah, I can't wait. Really excited.
Before we get into it, Graham, you text me white sad news earlier today that former international Scotland player Aaron Hansen is in hospital at the moment.
Yeah, I saw it was mentioned a few times on Twitter by folk that I trust. So apparently he's in intensive care. We don't know what's actually happened, but it's obviously very sad news. We're wishing him and his family all the best. Like I said, they didn't say on Twitter what happened. It just said that he was seriously ill. So hopefully he gets better very, very soon because he was a brilliant footballer for Liverpool and Scotland. So hopefully he gets better soon.
Here as well. So as I say, we're here for the Euros. Our summer holidays are over for the minute. We'll be here until Scotland wins the Euros because I don't know if I told you we're going to be England in the final. That wee small team from down south. Because they've been bumming them up for years. But anyway, it's our turn to bum our nation up as well. We'll be here every night, starting next Friday night. We'll be on between 6 and 7 for the big kickoff. And then after the game, when we beat Germany, maybe about 5 now, I would say. We'll be here at 10 o'clock and against Switzerland as well. And Hungary just to round it off before we make it to the next round of the Euros. Krinsky beat the show by way as well, because that's what my neighbours do down south as well, you know, even though they're talking absolute nonsense. So Graham, what do you think of the campaign overall?
I think it's been a very big success. You know, we've qualified. I don't think a lot of folk probably thought we would. The fact that we started the tournament so well, you know, we won the first 5 games, beat Norway, beat Spain. And I think I said at the time as well when we did the shows after the games, the Norway game for me was the one that I thought we're going to qualify here. We hadn't played well that night. We were very, very poor. I don't think Norway were great either. But to be 1-0 down to Haaland's penalty, and then to get those 2 late goals from Lyndon Dykes and Kenny McLean, that was when I thought there's something happening here. We're going to qualify. And then we obviously beat Spain as well, which was massive. It's been a very good campaign. You know, to qualify from that group and do it quite comfortably as well, I think was very impressive. I've said it previously, I think Steve Clarke has done a fantastic job with the squad that he's got to qualify for 2 Euros. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I am buzzing for this tournament. I genuinely can't wait. I love a summer international tournament, whether it's a World Cup or a Euros. But the fact that Scotland are actually there makes it that more special. And the fact that we're opening it as well. You know, it goes back to 1998 when we opened the tournament against Brazil. And I can't wait for Friday. I think it'll be a really good tournament. I think Scotland will actually do quite well. I'm going to put on record now what I've said in the last few weeks. I think Scotland will qualify from the group. I think we'll finish second behind Germany. I can't wait. I'm genuinely buzzing for this. I cannot wait.
So that first game is Euros Eve, and so let's have a look at the squad now. We have 2 players, not make the Euros playing, and Craig Gordon is unfortunately Ian, but I think that he could be very happy with his come back over the season with that unfortunate leg break against Gundy United, and also we have John Souttar out the team as well. So that's the squad. Stevie Clarke's taken to Germany. Ian, your thoughts on that?
I think it's a really strong squad, and just going to Craig Gordon there, I think it was fantastic that he got his 75th cap. One of Scotland's oldest ever players, playing at 41-year-old. I think it was really good of Steve Clarke to give him, that opportunity to go on. And he's been a great servant. And yeah, you're right. Coming back from that injury, I didn't think he'd be playing football again. I really didn't. So for him to come back it wasn't the perfect bow, as we know, unfortunately, but I think it's fantastic. And I think he will be a loss to the squad because of his experience. I don't know how fit he is, having match play since he came back. But the fact that to have him around, I think it's going to be a big loss that he's not going. Personally speaking, but we also have got to look to the future and give the other goalkeepers the experience as well. So I think it's a really good squad. Obviously gutted for Lyndon Dykes is out, and that's it was terrible news. I'm glad that we got through these games without any other injuries. That last game there, so I'm pleased. Yep, as strong as that, and also seeing Conway come on and looking really positive. I don't know him very well at all. Haven't seen much of him. But he looked really good, so...
Yeah, they scored as well.
Exactly. So, I'm well pleased. Pleased it can be.
Regan, Graham, what's your thoughts about the squad? Graham, as a Hearts fan, you must feel gutted for Craig Gordon, but, that's to Ian there that, he's come back basically because everybody thought his career was over. Made a brilliant comeback. And 75 caps he's got for Scotland already. It's a wonderful return.
So I think on Craig Gordon, I'm not surprised he's been left out because he's not had a lot of games for Hearts. He's played the cup games and a couple of league games. I think he's had 7 games this season. So I can understand why he's been left out in terms of the fact that he's not played a lot of games. But I think for experience in these kind of tournaments, I would have taken him.
Yeah.
Even though Liam Kelly has played every game this season for Motherwell, he's not had a particularly great season. So if any keeper was going to get dropped out, I thought it might be Liam Kelly, just because I don't think he's actually played that well. And Gordon's got the experience, but I can understand it because he's not had a lot of game time. Mm-hmm. The one that surprises me is John Souttar, because I think on his day, he's one of our best defenders, and I think he's been very good for Rangers this season. And they've not had a lot of brilliant defenders this season. I think Souttar's been one of them. Personally, I would have taken John Souttar because I think he's a very, very good defender. He's a ball-playing centre-back. He's composing the ball, which I think we're going to need, especially against teams like Germany. So I'm not surprised at the Gordon one, but I am slightly surprised at the John Souttar one. Other than that, I think the squad looks fine. I'm glad he's brought in Conway and Morgan for something a bit different. Again, what tends to happen with Scotland's call-ups, you always get the Ryan Gold thing, which I do get. And I actually think Gold's had a good season this season at MLS. But I think the problem with Ryan Gold is he's in a position that Scotland are actually very well stocked in. And that's probably why he's not getting selected. He's an attacking midfielder. And you've got John McGinn and Scott McTominay. He's not going to get in front of those two. So I understand that. But I think watching Conway and Morgan the other night against Finland, I thought they brought something a bit different. I thought Conway looked quite quick. He looked quite fresh, something I think we'll need. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. I'm gutted though for Ben Doak because I'm a big Ben Doak fan. I think he's a really, really good talented player. He's lightning quick. I'm gutted for him. But overall, I think the squad looks absolutely fine. No issue with it.
Regan, what's your thoughts about the squad?
Like, well, I think the squad's looking very good. Like I said before, I think the only downside for me, Michael, is that Dykes is not there. 'Cause I think he always had a different option. Obviously, it was good to see Conway on Friday night, but I think because Diggs just has contributed so much to like the Spain game, the Norway game, even Austria when you look back in previous campaigns, I think he would have been a bit of a sore head for the German centre backs on Friday night. But I'm just hoping that Che Adams, Conway, or Shankland can be that bit of difference overall for Scotland, because I'm just looking forward to it, Michael. I mean, like you said, it's the first one in a long time. Obviously, the one in 2021 was a little bit different because it was only 10,000 fans in the stadium. But this one feels proper. It's going to be loads of Scotland fans. I think there's probably going to be more Scotland fans in Germany than Scotland fans over in Scotland. So it's just going to be great, Michael. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to spend it with you guys as well. So, no, it's going to be good.
Ian, I always say that, but Regan touched upon it as well. It's going to be extra special this Euros as well, because you're going to get full houses at all the games. But that I always keep saying to the guys on the show that you want to be at the party, but you want to be at the after show party as well, and that's what we want to do to qualify out the group.
Definitely. Honestly, it's great to be back, and so obviously to be in our second finals is brilliant, and the World Cup is going to be the next one we start qualifying for. But yeah, to get out the group stages for the first time ever, that's what we're wanting, and there's no reason why we can't do it. I don't think there's any great gulfs in the teams, so I think we can definitely do it. It's just playing at the highest level, we've got to watch for any of the mistakes and slackness, because you've got to be switched on, totally switched on for these matches. So they've got the experience of, a lot of the players have got the experience already of playing in a tournament, so we should go there with no fear, and it would be just such an achievement to get through the stages. It would be absolutely massive, and that's what we're hoping for. And that's what you're hoping for, to get to that final that you talked about going to. So,
well, no, we're definitely going to the final. You know,
but in England's form, I don't think England will be in the final. So you might have to pick a different opponent for that final that you're going to attend.
And also that, also if we do get out the group stages, Graham, Stevie Clarke will go down in Scottish football history.
He will, and rightly so. I generally think he's done a great job, but he still gets a lot of stick, which I don't get. I think to qualify for 2 tournaments, to then possibly get us out the group stage for the first time ever, I think he's done a really good job. I genuinely do. I think he's done a fantastic job with the players that he's got. You know, it's not like he can sign players. You've got to use what you've got. And I think he does that really well. I genuinely think we've got a very good squad. I think the Lyndon Dykes thing, yes, is massive. He's been a very good player for Scotland. But I'm happy with the options he's got. Now, again, I'm going to go on a rant here because I've seen this a few times, right? I don't think I was going to do this, but because I'm here, I'm going to. I have seen so much stick on social media about Lawrence Shankland, which I just don't get. In this country, we have a big problem with rival players doing well. Lawrence Shankland's got 31 goals this season for Hearts. He's now scored twice for Scotland, but all I see is he's not good enough to lead the line for Scotland. He's overweight. He's not good enough, which is absolute nonsense. I watched him against Finland. He was making a lot of really good runs and wasn't getting the ball. The one time he gets a decent ball in the box, he scores. I get club rivalry when he's playing against you. Like when he's playing for Hearts against Rangers Celtic, I get that. But see when he pulls on that blue top, you should be backing him. But all I've seen this last 2 weeks against Gibraltar and Finland is he's not good enough. He can't start against Germany. I'm going to take you back to the Holland friendly game, right? He was up against one of the best centre-backs in the world, Virgil van Dijk. He was brilliant. He led the line really well. He was dropping deep. He was taking the ball in, holding it up, laying it off. Yes, the chance he got in the second half, he should score, but he was brilliant that day. But all I see is rival clubs, and it's certain rival clubs, giving him stick. I don't get it. Back your player. If Shankland starts against Germany, I guarantee he'll do really well. I just don't get the stick that he's getting. It's ridiculous.
Can I come in there as well? I enjoyed that rant because it was really good. I was delighted that he got the goal because you're right, they're all questioning, is he good enough to step up to international level? He's the only striker that's banging in all the goals at the moment, for his club team. So I always believe and go with the strikers who are getting the goals, the ones that are on form, because that's when the confidence is the highest. And obviously his chances for Scotland are going to be extremely limited. So if he doesn't get that one chance, then everyone's on his back. But I was delighted when he got that goal because that's really going to give him a lot of confidence going forward. And it keeps people off his back. So the ones who have been negative, that keep him off the back because he got a goal. And he took his goal really well in a difficult situation. So, yeah, delighted he got his goal.
Regan, Anna Leno makes a good point here, and I'm the same. Like if he bangs in the winning goal against, let's say Germany on Friday night, let's be optimistic, guys. As well, I don't care. I don't care if he plays for Rangers, Queen's Park, or whatever that is. As long as he does well for the country. Do you think when Graham went off on his rant there, and I totally agree with you, Graham, by the way, and I saw your comment on Twitter, and you never put Shankland's name up, but I kind of guessed that you were talking about him, right? But do you think it's Scottish football fans are a bit snobbery sometimes because like they don't look outside the box?
I think it's a very good point made there, and I think in terms of Shankland, I think there's not much that there's not much more that Shankland can do. He scores 31 goals this season, as Graham pointed out. Well, of course, every player's not going to be everybody's best player or favourite player, but you need to admire the amount of chances that he's taken. It's not easy to score 31 goals in a Hearts team, especially a Hearts team that's not not one of the
choose your words carefully here, Regan, mate.
Not one of the top in the country where they're dominating a lot of games. A lot of these games, what you look back and you think, well, he scored a lot of goals and his chance take has been very good. But yeah, I mean, I've got no qualms with who plays up front, but I think for the Germany game in particular, I think I would go with Che Adams just because I was looking at Germany last night and the German centre backs are Antonio Rudiger, who plays with Real Madrid. He's just won the Champions League. Now that's a big, strong, muscly guy. So I'm kind of thinking I would kind of like Che Adams to be up again, for him and try and make it a physical battle because I think that's something that Che Adams could do. He did it against Denmark. I think when we beat Denmark, I think it was 2-0. So I'm pretty optimistic, and I would say to you, Graham, that obviously there's a bit of supporter rivalry there as well. So don't get too down about it, mate.
There is, but I just don't get it. Like when he pulls on that Scotland top, like I said, I get if you play for Hearts against Rangers, Celtic, Hibs, and he's scoring goals against you, that's fine. But the stick I've seen on social media that he's getting, like the Gibraltar game, okay, it wasn't his best, but he got very little chances created for him. I've said it before, like Shankland is not just a goal scorer. His all-round game is actually far better than folk give him credit for. His link-up play's got so much better. His hold-up play is really good. If Shankland plays against Germany, I guarantee he'll do really well. Now, I kind of agree. I think Adams probably will start. If he'd been fit, I think Dykes would have started. But I just think the stick that Shankland's getting, for me, is way over the top. Scotland don't have, for me, a natural goal scorer. Shankland is that natural goal scorer. He just needs one chance and he'll finish it. If he plays against Germany, I have no doubt he would do well.
Do you think, guys, I would be interested to get your points in this as well. Like, obviously, Graham was banning the drum about Shankland must stay at Hearts until maybe 20 years time or whatever kind of thing. But see, let's see these point, Graham, right? See if you move to Rangers at Christmas, right? And just for talking sake, Rangers won the league. You would not see the comments.
No, of course you would. You absolutely would not see those comments. But it's just, it seems to be certain fan bases that have an issue with Lawrence Shankland. Now, it's not everybody. There are some decent fans of these clubs that actually, do back him. But I just think it's a stick that he gets. Even on Friday, he scores, and all I see is, it was only he couldn't have missed that. Well, to be fair, he could have done, because the Finland defender is all over him. It's a really good header. He's got really good movement. He can't win. I said even against Gibraltar, he couldn't win. If he scores 4 or 5, it's only Gibraltar. If he doesn't score, he's rubbish. What happens? He doesn't score, so immediately he gets stick. I just don't get it. Go back your team. It's the same with the whole Ryan Jack thing. I've heard a few folks saying, apparently Ryan Jack got booed against Finland. I never heard that. But again, I couldn't care who you play for. Lee Griffiths, I think, played for Celtic at the time he scored 2 goals against England. I've never celebrated 2 goals like that in my life. I couldn't care who you play for. If you pull on that Scotland top, you get my full backing, and that should be the same with anybody. But unfortunately, it's not, and it just annoys me that happens.
But that's online, because in the stadium, the whole team got backing, and there was no one getting a hard time. So it's online. Is it the people who go to the game? I don't know. But
I think it's back. I think it's back to what you were saying in the Keyboard Warriors.
Yeah, and I mean, all the players get a backing, and I know it's some fans say that their players are giving a hard time with Scotland fans and stuff like that. I've not heard that. I don't hear it. The players all get a backing. There has been occasions, I know, in the past, and we could pick them out some time ago, but nothing. All the players get a backing. That's all I can say. So there's online Keyboard Warriors.
And if you haven't saw Ian's fancy hat that he wore to the Gaming Flag and check him out. Taylor Swift, eat your hat out with that hat on, Ian. You were looking pretty cool with that hat on.
I've not seen that picture, but I put a hat on.
Oh, have you not seen that? Okay, I'll tell you after the show, right?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you were at the Gaming Flag, and Ian, what was the atmosphere like in the stadium?
It was actually really good beforehand. A great rendition of Flower of Scotland at the national anthems, and the flag display. So I was right opposite where all the fans had the flags, and it was a fantastic display. But it was kind of a really funny one because it was a big send-off and everyone was really excited, as we are all tonight. Germany's getting closer. It was just a funny type of game because, we got a couple of goals in the second half, and then we lost a couple, and it almost seemed a bit flat for a send-off. But it's kind of funny atmosphere, but it was a great, before kick-off, before the football started, it was a great atmosphere. And hopefully it'll give the players a lift of what to expect out in Germany, because we're hoping that the backing they're getting and the numbers travelling over, that will relay onto the team how much the country is backing them, and hopefully give them an extra wee lift.
Do you know the thing about these two friendlies? I know everyone's having to play these friendlies, but do you know the one thing I think about these games against Gibraltar and Finland? Nobody really wants to go serious because it's a friendly and you don't want to get injured. Look at Lyndon Dykes. Lyndon Dykes gets injured in a warm-up in training. Nobody really wants to go full throttle because it's a warm-up game. Yeah. So I think that's probably going to be expected on Friday that was a little bit flat, because everyone's thinking, if I get injured here, I'm out the Euros. So I think that's probably what, again, that didn't really benefit anybody. I just think it's because of the fact nobody wants to get injured, and that's why it was kind of low-key.
Yeah, and you saw McGinn, there was a wee bit where McGinn got angry with someone and put in a sort of a hard tackle. Well, that was kind of a bit of aggression near the end, and what we'll see in Germany, hopefully, is that aggression right from the start, and, they'll be up for it. And see what you said earlier on about the campaign. The campaign's been brilliant, so there has been they've shipped quite a few goals in some of the friendlies and other games since, and even since we qualified, which was roughly September, October last year, when we more or less did all the business, the hard work was done. We only lost one game against Spain away, and we had that goal chalked off, and we're playing well. So the campaign's been one of the best that I can ever remember. What a start. We did everything right. Even the easy game we won. We did win it. We didn't slip up, and we had a fantastic run to almost get us there straight away in the first batch of games, 5 games, whatever it was. So it's been a great campaign, and I wouldn't let the friendly games or anything derail us from our potential. And quickly say as well, the game against Netherlands for 60 or 70 minutes, Scotland played brilliant. Yeah, the doors opened at the end, and that was a big worry, and that is a concern. But that football that team played that night, I thought I was watching Brazil there for a while.
I think if you asked any Scotland fan before the tournament that we would win our first 5 games in a group that had Spain or Norway in it, I think you would have been thinking no chance. It was honestly that night against Spain at Hampden was absolutely incredible, and seeing the Rodri tears was even funnier.
Yeah,
talking about that campaign, the voice that you heard on TNT Sport was Mr. Rory Hamilton, and Graham interviewed him a few weeks ago for the show. So we are going to watch a bit of that interview now with Graham and Rory Hamilton talking about the Euros.
Delighted today to be interviewing the voice of Viaplay. You will hear him in a minute. He's the voice of Viaplay, which I call him. It is the fantastic commentator, Mr. Rory Hamilton.
It's good to be on, and you're going to need to update my nickname because it's Viaplay no more. It's back to Premier.
The 17th of June 2023, the Ullevål Stadium in Oslo, Norway against Scotland. Now, Scotland were very poor that night. We were 1-0 down Erling Haaland's goal. We hadn't really created a lot. But then 87 minutes, Lyndon Dykes scores the equaliser. And I think, like most fans, I was sitting there thinking, right, we've not played well. We'll take the point, get out there with a point, that's fine. 89 minutes, Scott McTominay plays it at the back post. John McGinn lays it in for Lyndon Dykes. Dykes lays it off to McLean, and McLean scores. You were doing the commentary that night, and you said 4 words that I think pretty much resonated with me. This is quite sensational.
I mean, all my thoughts on that moment are exactly what you hear because it's just the brain is sending a message to the mouth, and something is coming out, and it is just my sheer euphoria. And you know, Michael's next to me as well, and you can hear how excited he is. That I've been following Scotland home and away. I think my first away game was about 2006 against Lithuania, and I've not done 100% of the trips then, but not far off. There's a few that I've missed, of which you get some fairly dark times where you're trying to actually justify whether you can take the time off work or spend the money to go on the next one. And one of them was actually Oslo. We lost 4-0 out there. I think Stephen Caldwell was sent off. We didn't have a kick of the ball. We were absolutely atrocious. And that, my mind really cast back to that moment, because that was definitely at a time where I thought, oh, I'm not really sure I can keep on doing this. I had to go back there and win in the manner that we did. I mean, I know you say that we didn't play well. I don't think we did either, but they didn't. I mean, that was a 0-0 game all day long. Neither team deserved really to win that, and I think maybe a little bit of the Haaland effect got them their penalty. Almost defenders fearing his presence made that penalty happen, and you're thinking that's going to be the difference. But you got back into it with the slip from Ostergaard. Really, that's how we got our only opening. And I remember when the game kicked off at 1-1. There's about 126 seconds between the two balls hitting the back of the net for Scotland. And when the game kicks off, their fullbacks absolutely bolt up the touchline. And you're thinking, well, you know, because they had to win. There was no doubt about that. They'd already lost in Spain. They'd drawn in Georgia. Norway had to win that game. A point was absolutely no good to them. So their fullbacks bombed forward. The minute they gave it away, they're in trouble because they've only got 2 back. We had the ball out on the right, as you say, with McTominay. Massive switch, and Michael actually says McGinn's in. You can hear him on the commentary. McGinn's in, and you just know as long as Dykes gets that flick on, then there's a chance. And from there, you know, every touch is perfect.
Just going back to Scotland, last week we had the announcement of the 28-man squad, which will be cut to 26 by the 7th of June. Was there any major surprises in there for you?
I think probably the biggest surprise was Ben Doak, who I think has. I mean, it's not just potential; he's got incredible talent. For him to be included, I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd been playing more, but because he's not been playing that much for Liverpool, I was maybe a little bit surprised at that. But I think that's where the increase from 23 to 26 man squad has actually really helped us.
Do you think Steve Clarke could take 4 goalkeepers?
I would expect 3 goalkeepers to go. I wouldn't like to speculate which one. It would be unfair to suggest who might be the one to drop out. Angus Gunn will obviously go, barring an injury or anything out of the ordinary. I think he's well established as the number one. And then it will come down to. It might come down to how he assesses Craig Gordon, who's not been number one at Hearts, just coming back from a year out, horrific injury, but he's got all that experience. And Craig Gordon's been such an outstanding goalkeeper for Scotland for near on 20 years.
Opening game against Germany, does Lawrence Shankland start?
If you combine the three, Dykes, Adams and Shankland, you'd have an incredible number 9. But then it comes to weighing up their individual attributes and how you want the game plan to work out. So it might be that you want somebody more physical. So if that's the case, he goes with Dykes. He might want somebody that's got a bit more running power in behind. If that's the case, he goes with Adams. I think Shankland has probably got the best all-round attributes, and he's the best finisher. That first game sets the tone, and you're sort of going into the lion's den with a Germany team who 6 months ago looked in serious trouble, who now look like they can hammer anyone and could be up there with the tournament favourites. I think I would love a point from the opening game, and then you look where you can get your other 3 probably. I think they would then look at it and go, right, last 16, how do we get the quarters? How do we look what Wales did in 2016. There's no reason why Scotland can't go and emulate that, and that's where I like how they've got rid of this defeatist tag.
There you go. That was Roddy Hamilton talking to our Mr. Duffy a few weeks ago on the show. Ian, I was just reminiscing about the last kind of opening game we got in the Euro, the kind of big major tournament, and I'm thinking, well, thank God Tom Boyd is not playing, because if you remember that game, it was 1-1 with 10 minutes to go, and it was an own goal by Boyd. And by the way, Tom Boyd's a lovely guy, right? But just as well, he's not playing.
I was at that game. It was when Brazil scored. I thought it was in France, opening game of the World Cup '98. I thought when Brazil scored, the floodgates could open. So when John Collins scored the penalty, and it was neck and neck. And Tom Boyd, honestly, was the unluckiest guy. I mean, it bounced off his chest, I think, didn't it, when he was running back?
Yeah.
It was a sickener. But I thought the team did us really proud that day. And, that, again, we were at the opening game. So I was against the World Cup holders at the time in France, playing Brazil. You can't get any bigger than that. But this is a huge game. This is at the Euros, opening ceremony, opening game against Germany, who... When I was speaking to some German friends and some German news reporters got in touch a while back, they were saying it's the worst German team they can remember, and they want the manager sacked. And then all of a sudden, they got really strong. Didn't look too good the other day, so I don't know. But again, these games just before are more to make sure they go through without any injuries, kind of thing. So you can't take too much in that. But Germany has got a history of always peaking or coming really strong at competitions in the finals. So to get anything from that game will be amazing. But a draw, yeah, I'd happily take a draw. I mean, that would be amazing. Be greedy and take a win, yes, but
yeah, no, exactly. Graham, I was going to say that Germany's been very poor in the last 2 tournaments. I think they failed to get the grip that of my memory serves me right there. But also, it's going to be a big ask, especially if they're playing in their own back door with about, I don't know how much the stadium holds, maybe 50,000, Dean, for the first game. I'm not sure, but you'll have a lot of Germans at the game as well, Graham.
Yeah, I mean, all the pressure's on Germany. Opening the tournament at home to Scotland, a team that they'd expect to beat. Scotland tend to actually rise to the occasion against bigger teams. And I think there's no pressure on us. We can go there relaxed. We might get beat, yes, but I don't think we'll get hammered. I genuinely think we'll give it a good go. Germany have got a lot of older players there. You know, this is Tony Kroos's last tournament. He wants to go in a high. Kai Havertz, I don't particularly rate. I do think they've got a couple of decent youngsters there, but Germany have not been overly impressive. They drew 0-0 with Ukraine the other day. I know it's a friendly, but maybe not the best way to gear up for a tournament in their own country. So, yeah, I think all the pressure's on Germany. I don't think they will do as well as folk think. They'll win the group, I think. But apart from that, I don't think they're going to go much further. I don't think they're a great squad. For me, and I've heard a few folks saying this might be the best time to play Germany. Opening game in their own tournament, where they're under pressure. I think this is a game Scotland go there and go, do you know what, we can actually do something here. So, yeah, all the pressure's on them. There's no pressure on us.
Ian, we were just saying about Lachlan Shannon getting abuse. It would be brilliant for him to score the winning goal, and all the keyboard warriors would basically go home to think again.
Yeah, don't even get me thinking about Scotland Shankland or anyone scoring a winning goal in this game. You get me too excited. But yeah, it's quite a few people are saying that Germany are under pressure. The Germans are saying it. You know, but they're not the strongest team. It's not as good as they have been. So exactly what you're saying, Graham. It was the opening game. There's a chance, and we shouldn't be too cautious. We should go in there and give it our best shot. I like what Steve Clark was saying just the other day there, like telling everyone to chill a wee bit, relax. Frankie says relax. So Stevie says relax, and I quite like that attitude. And just let's go there and enjoy it. So let's not go there and just try and be too cagey or respect the opposition too much. Let's go and give it our best shot, because we've got strong players playing in strong leagues, and there's no reason why we shouldn't have a go. But yeah, a win and a draw that'll be absolutely fantastic, and it'll really set us up, for the next few games.
Before we go back to talk about the party that we're going to be having, well, Ian's going to be having, I'm going to sit home with a kebab and all that as well. Ian's the editor of the famous Tartan Army magazine. We've had you on a few times, Ian. It's a brilliant magazine. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's not because you're on. I think it's because I write for the magazine as well. So tell us a wee bit more about the magazine, and tell us what people can expect and where can people get it.
Right, so the magazine, Famous Tartan Army magazine, is free to read, and it's an online digital version, and it's at tartanarmymagazine.com. And in the current issue we've got out just now, it's Germany is the theme, surprise, surprise, and we've got a Tartan Army guide to Germany, the 3 cities, the best beers, best nightclubs, all that sort of thing, and previewing the 3 opposition teams we're playing. We've got Lyndon Dykes' interview, and when you read that, you know the passion and how much he was looking forward to these finals. So it's sickening that he's not there. We've got somebody gave us a Callum Davison interview.
I don't know who that was.
So yeah, your contributions were brilliant. That was a really interesting interview with him. I enjoyed reading that. Well, I'm just trying to remember so I don't miss things out. I'll try and quickly go through it. We've got Chick Young column. He's talking about Germany in '74. We've got Elsie Cook talking about the first Scotland-England ladies game. So all the badges on because they weren't supported from the SFA at that time. We've got just lots of fan stories. We've got the Cerebral Palsy World Cup World Scotland Champions. Thank you very much for that one as well, Michael. And also you mentioned the amputee national team heading off to the Euros. So we've got all that in it. We've got the complete record. Alistair Abe wrote the complete record of Scotland against Germany, including West Germany and East Germany. The whole factual, he did some research into all these games and a record against them all. Don't want to miss anyone out. We've got Gordon Smart and the fans of microphones. I hope I haven't missed any out of the week. quite a lot there. So a lot of hard work, and it's all done by football fans, for the fans, and hopefully we provide a guide to Germany and something to read, and people can read either at home or on Journey to Germany.
I'm just wondering, when Ian mentioned about the pubs and clubs, I wonder if Frank McAvenny is going to be there.
Well, I'll send him the guide. Where's the birds? Where's the pubs and where's the birds? Yeah, so I was Hazel that did the guide there, and it was quite good. So she put in the best nightclubs and the best bars and the best beers in each city to take, and all that. So it's quite good, informative. So I will report back, and well, not the nightclubs, the beers. Let you know what the beers are like.
Very, I shout out to Hazel as well, because I don't know if she'll be driving somewhere at the moment on a boat or whatever. She's actually, Graham, you've heard of that from Trains, Planes and Automobiles, haven't you? Well, there's a lot of people going walking and, you know, sponsored walks and all that to Germany. Big shout out to, the name escapes me, is going to mental health. Craig, yeah. Is walking to Germany, but our own Hazel is driving to Germany. I wouldn't fancy driving all the way to Germany.
Well, there are a lot of people driving. A lot of people are taking the camper vans as well, and the vans. I've got a friend who's gone over in his works van, and he's got a mattress in the back, and that's where he's sleeping. And it's not even one of these big vans; it's just a small white van. So yes, I think there's some amazing. Some of these camper vans are all done up, and I know Hazel's got the Scotland badges in the back of her.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be quite a journey.
Our pal, sorry, Ian.
No, I'm glad I've not taken the car, because I know when we went to France, there was 5 of us in this tiny wee car, and then we drove over there and had to sleep in the car at times and all sorts of stuff. So Bordeaux in the middle of this street, 5 of us in this car. Woke up in the morning and all the traffic was there. Oh my God! So
our colleague James Earlier, good afternoon to you, saying Alan Hansen is seriously ill in the hospital. Liverpool Football Club has announced, yes, and thoughts are with him and his family at this time. Yes, James, we mentioned that earlier on. It's quite sad news, and hopefully he recovers as well. Maybe if Scotland beats Germany as a seg for the maybe 5th time today, maybe that will help us kind of recovery as well. Graham, it's brilliant because before we qualify for these tournaments, you used to go out to shops and, you know, TV adverts, and you see adverts advertising the Euros and World Cups as well, when you're thinking, well, it's brilliant, but you're not really interested in that. But now that you're there, you are interested in it, and it's brilliant to see adverts and even shops getting done up as well.
Yeah, it's a bit like what you mentioned earlier, Michael, and rightly so, about the fact that, like, even if you look at the last Euros that Scotland were at, there was no fans there, so it wasn't quite the same. This time we're actually there. I'm there with fans, so it's going to be really special. I generally, like I said before, I love international tournaments in the summer, like World Cups and Euros. But I think the fact that your own country is there just makes it a little bit more special. And like Ian said earlier, like watching folk on social media and that getting their, you know, on the planes and stuff, and it is. I mean, I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie. I would love to be there, but it's brilliant. You know, and the fact, like I said, we're opening the tournament just makes it that even special. Like, I think this week, I think the build-up will be really good, because it's getting that little bit closer. You know, for weeks and weeks, you're thinking about it, talking about it, but now it's the week of the tournament. It's getting that more exciting. And 8 o'clock on Friday. I mean, I finished work at 4 o'clock on Friday, and I'm not gonna lie, I am buzzing for Friday night. I cannot wait. And I just think Scotland, like I said, have got a really good chance here. I think we've got a really good squad. We've got a really good manager, and the players will be up for it. I've got no doubt about that. In my head, I've got a team in my head for Friday. It might not match everybody's, but I genuinely can't wait. I just think these tournaments are so special. And like you said before, it's better to be at the party than not at the party. And already I can see like fans and like people where I am just now in Pennycook getting excited, flags out windows and stuff, kids getting excited, talking about it. It's brilliant. I genuinely cannot wait.
So let's put your neck on the line, Graham. Well, let's go live to Germany now, and I think Graham has got the Scotland team there. Graham, over
So
to you.
the lineup for me on Friday, I think it'll be 3-4-2-1. So I think it'll be Angus Gunn in goal, the back three of Porteous, Tierney, and Hendry, Robertson on the left, Ralston on the right, with McGregor and Gilmore. Then it'll be John McGinn and Scott McTominay. And as much as I want Shankland to start, I think it'll be Che Adams. So that's the team that I think will start against Germany on Friday night.
Who's in midfield again?
So for me, it'll be Andy Robertson on the left, Ralston on the right, with McGregor and Gilmore in the centre.
Yeah, well,
that's what team I think will be.
That's a strong enough team for me.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
Yeah,
Tony Ralston. I'm trying to think. How many games has he played? I'm trying to. We're kind of struggling in that position, I suppose.
I mean, it's a toss up between him and McCrory, but I just think Ralston's probably got a bit more experience, so that's why I'm probably going to chuck him in there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I think if McCrory plays, he'll do well, but I just think Ralston might be a bit more solid defensively, so that's why I've gone with him. But I mean, there's not many options there, is there? We are really missing Hickey and Patterson.
Yeah, and you see Shankland coming on, I'm presuming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in about 60 minutes or whatever. Yeah, it's interesting.
I think it depends what the score is. If we can keep it tight for long enough, and then like say, I don't know, 60, 70 minutes, we're maybe looking to try and get a goal, then bring Shankland on. Or even now, you've got the likes of Tommy Conway and Lewis Morgan there. We now have options that we didn't have previously. So yeah, that's the team that I would go with.
Yeah, and I know they've been brought in late, but I would I'd see them, from what I've seen them playing, that's maybe just what we need. People who are new to the squad, no fear. Hearing Tommy Conway speaking afterwards, he seemed to be really confident and desperate to go. And maybe that's just what we need. People might not have been part of the squad for that long, but to come in and be confident and take us to that next level. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with that team as well, Graham. That's a very strong team, and I think like when you're talking about Shankland not starting on Friday night, you don't hear this too many times in football, but he's actually a good sub to bring on because what you're going to get with him as well. Same way, kind of like James Forrest as well, even though he's about 6'9" at the moment, James Forrest, but he still does the job.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You've not got, when you're a Scotland manager, you've not got that many options. And I've said it previously, especially up front, you've not got many options. Now, you could have maybe called in Ryan Hardy, who's got 12 goals for Plymouth this season. You could have called out, I don't think Kevin Nisbet's been that great for Millwall, has had injuries. So you've not got many options in the attacking area. But if you chuck Shankland on and give him even half a chance, he will score. Now, again, somebody mentioned in the comments there that Conway looked bright on against Finland. I think he did. He's got a bit of pace. He looks quite direct. He's unlucky not to score at the end. That's a decent save for the keeper. So we now have a few more options there. But I genuinely think, for me, that team that I've kind of selected, I think, is quite strong. It gives us a bit more. It gives us a bit more grit. Like I'm a massive fan of Billy Gilmore. I think Gilmore's a very, very good footballer, and I just think as well, like Tierney for me at centre back is a really good option. For me, I don't think Hanley has looked brilliant recently. Now again, Ryan Porteous at times does let himself down at times, but to be fair, he's not really let Scotland down yet. So I think we've got a really good side there, and I just think on Friday, we need to be aggressive, need to get in Germany's face, don't let them settle. And if we can keep it tight for 60, 70 minutes at 0-0, Germany fans will start to get on their players back. And then if you bring in Shankland on, bring in Conway on, bring in Morgan on, you just never know. I genuinely think we've got a chance on Friday. I really do.
Regan, do you think if we get anything from Germany on Friday, that would actually set the tone for the whole tournament?
Yeah, I think if we get some for Germany on Friday, Michael will qualify. At this moment in time, I would take second in the group. But yeah, I think if we actually take anything from the game, I think it'd be classified is a huge success. And I think, as I said to you and Graham last week, I think as well, but because of the fact that we can that if you finish third in the group, but you have a narrow defeat to Germany and you do well in the other two games, I wouldn't mind that either. You know, because as long as we get through and make history, like you said, Steve Clark would be the best Scotland manager in history to get us through to the group, the last stages of our tournament. So it'd be great for the squad, and I think in general, I know we've got some of the best players missing, but I think we've got a great chance.
Ian, do you think we could qualify with 7 points?
Yeah. I think that would take us through. 7 points, that'd be great. I'd love to see 7 points. The draw and 2 wins, take that, or whatever way they come. That would be great. Can I just go back just very quickly to the bit about us being there and all the shops having Scotland flags and all that? And for many years, when we never qualified, and sometimes I was in England, and I was really jealous when I've seen all these St George's crosses absolutely everywhere, and we were never part of the party. So seeing it to be part of the party and knowing how much the Germans are looking forward to the Tartan Army coming over, and the whole bagpipe story about us maybe not having the bagpipes and that, there's been a lot of coverage in Germany. So I think the Tartan Army, and I think Scotland, being at the opening game, and hopefully we do really good, and also having our fans back at a tournament in Germany, what a great country to go to. We're going to be there in their thousands. I think it's going to give the whole tournament, it'll add to the whole occasion. I think the Tartan Army bring that with them, that it will really add to the occasion. So we won't be there hidden away in the tournament. We'll be there vocally as supporters and also a team in the very first game. And yes, I'm just this conversation tonight, I'm actually a lot more confident we're going to go through now. A lot of positivity about it, and that's fantastic.
Graham, do you think it's like, if we do well, as I say, 7 points will be enough to see it through, and before we win the Euros, because I've definitely got to win the Euros. Do you think that will put Scottish football on the map a wee bit? Because especially with our neighbours down the road, they write Scottish football out of at the peril as well. But like thinking about players like Ronnie Chapman and all those players that doesn't play for like Celtic and Rangers in Scotland, because basically everybody think it's a league between Celtic and Rangers, but they don't look at like Hearts, Hibs, like Ross County as well. So they don't like look outside the box. So do you think it's a case of making that a tournament for Scotland, A, to perform at the best level, but B, to put Scottish football on the map?
Yeah, I mean, England couldn't even beat Iceland. Their next game is now against Tesco, apparently. And if they can't beat them, Sainsbury's or, they're just awful. But it's their English media that hit them up, as always. But yeah, it definitely will do. I think a lot of folk now look at Scotland. Again, we said it so many times, people just look down at Scotland and think, oh, they're terrible. If we could beat Germany, folk would look at that and think, do you know what, that's a massive statement. And there's no reason we shouldn't be able to do it. We've got a very good squad, and like I said, we tend to rise to the occasion against bigger teams. I think we've got a very good chance in this tournament. I've been saying it for weeks on other social media platforms. I think Scotland will get out of the group. And if we do that, I think it'll be brilliant. And then folk will start looking at Scotland and thinking, do you know what, they've actually got a very good team now, and they've got a very good manager. Steve Clark has been brilliant for Scotland. I generally think he's been absolutely fantastic. And if he can get us out of this group, which I think he will, I mean, if we get 7 points, I'll be delighted with that. We're getting 2 wins out of that group. I'm buzzing with that. And there's no reason we shouldn't do it. Switzerland, looking at their form, they've not been overly impressive. Hungary, they do have decent players in the team. I think Szoboszlai at Liverpool's a really good player. But again, I look at that Scotland squad and I look at that midfield. Callum McGregor, Billy Gilmore are 2 fantastic midfielders. We've got options up front now. I'm slightly worried defensively. I won't lie. I think we do concede too many goals. But I think we've got a lot of options there. So I generally think there's no reason that Scotland shouldn't get out this group. And then folk will look at us and think, I mean, the other day, what was it I said in the group chat? Wales couldn't even beat Gibraltar in a friendly. There's no reason Scotland should not get out this group. And there's no reason not to be positive. I generally can't wait for Friday. And I think, like I said previously, we've got a very good squad there, a very good manager. And I think we will get out this group. Whether it's 7 points, I don't know. But I generally think we'll get out the group. I can't wait. I'm buzzing for this.
Reagan, the first game, as I say, we'll be doing it live, kickoff, and after the kickoff as well. Germany on Friday night. What's your thoughts going into that game?
I'm just looking forward to it. I don't think there's any pressure on Scotland. I think all the pressure's on Germany, being the home nation, being in front of the own crowd. I think in Scotland not been there in a proper major tournament since 1998. So I think that in general, I think the whole nation will just be absolutely delighted to be there. I'm jealous that Ian being out in Germany because I was planning to be there, but now I'm not there. So yeah, so no, I'm looking forward to it, Michael. I think that we just need to take the match in stages and try and get through the first half an hour and get through the first half, possibly 0-0 or 1-0, and then hopefully we can grab a goal to hold on to or something like that, you know, and then hopefully Shankland will score a last minute winner to win the game 2-1.
Another Ian Nicholson says on Facebook, I'm not getting my hopes high. And to be honest, I know why he's saying that, right? Because Scotland's teams has failed over the past years, right? They've got to major tournaments and not get over the hurdle, but you've got to be confident. You've got to sing praises about the whole squad and the manager as well.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I don't think we're all getting carried away. It's not like 1978 when Ali McLeod told us we're going to win the World Cup. We thought we just had to turn up. And I had some great players there as well. So I don't think we're overly confident, but I think there's no reason why we shouldn't be confident. I don't think it's false hope, because I don't think there's that much difference. I don't think Scotland's there to be the whipping boys, definitely not. So why not get the victories?
Look at Wales, Ian. Did they not reach the quarterfinals of the World Cup and a few years ago, and Iceland done that as well?
Yeah, so there's no reason why we should fear anyone going forward, and just got to hope that they all perform on the day and there's no big blunders or no drastic things like a sending off going against us or anything like that. So, there's nothing to fear. That's all I can say.
Before we go, we've got a few shows coming up. I don't know if we told you about that. And if we did, well, I'm going to tell you again. We've got a show coming up between Scotland and Germany next Friday night. There we go, the big kickoff. It starts at 6 o'clock on the 14th, and then on the after the game, we'll be back on at 10 o'clock, and for the Scotland-Switzerland game as well, and Scotland-Hungary game as well. It's a bit bizarre, Glenn, right? Because all the games at 8 o'clock kickoffs, maybe that's a sign. Maybe we are going to qualify.
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, the one thing I will say, right, and I don't want to be down on it because I've already said in the previous show that we did earlier that it's not VAR. I just hope we don't get done by a VAR decision. You know, that's the one thing I hope doesn't happen. I don't think that'll happen, though. I think they'll actually use it quite properly. But I just hope that we're not, again, talking on Friday after the show about a really poor VAR decision going against Scotland. It would be a typical Scottish thing to do. But yeah, I mean, 8 o'clock, I'm buzzing with these. I mean, I was looking at some of the games as well that will kick off early, like 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. There's not a lot of brilliant games kicking off at that time. I think most of the decent games are the later kickoffs. And thankfully, Scotland are involved in them. So yeah, honestly, I'm buzzing for this. Roll on Friday, come on!
My favourite sorry, Ian.
I was just going to say then the next day, I think it's a 2 o'clock kickoff for our other opponents in the section.
Hungary, yeah.
I think it's pretty sure it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I've been doing the show for many years, Graham, and this is my best comment ever. I like you guys. I can't wait for 8 o'clock. But be here at 6 o'clock, right? And then go and watch the game and come back with your haggis supper and all that as well. By the way, that's been a quick hour, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks to Reagan. Thanks to Ian Emerson from the famous Canada magazine. Get your copy now. because there's brilliant interviews in it, brilliant content in it as well. And you can get the magazine on Facebook and Twitter as well, X as well. Thanks to Graham with his best pal Rory Hamilton now, who's away down the pub with him. And so we'll be back on next Friday for the build-up to the Scotland-Germany game. So all it looks me to say is, Ian, enjoy Germany, and I'll see you at the final. And thanks for watching, everyone. Let's get all your comments. And we will speak to you on Friday.
Come on, Scotland!
Come on, Scotland!
The Locker Room, with all the sports news you need. Live